right, it's June 2nd, 2021. This is NCCU Live. I'm Keon Brown in New York. Thank you for being here. We're glad you can be here today. It's an excellent day to be a North Carolina Central University Eagle. This is an amazing show where we are all about alumni and acknowledging them and being proud of who we are as Eagles and those who also dwelled on the sloping hills and verdant green of the most incredible university on the planet, North Carolina Central University. Welcome, I'm Keon Brown. Let's bring in our first guest, Therese. Love it. I want to say what's up to you. Hey, Therese, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Come on, class of 06. That's around my time.
Yep.
Now
it was so long ago, it feels like.
Tell me about it. Now, ain't nobody getting old around here, but it was a little while ago. All right. So you are a senior recreation center supervisor. Talk about your work, where you're at, and where you've been since 06.
Oh, wow. So we're going to go from present backwards. So currently I work with the City of Winston-Salem Recreation and Parks Department. I run a recreation center, which was recently converted over to a teen center. So it's just all teen programs, holistic programs, a little bit of athletics, just giving them something to do besides hanging out on the street and getting into mischief. So that's what I currently do. Since I left North Carolina Central University, I've worked with Durham Parks and Recreation. I've worked for the post office. I've worked at North Carolina A&T as a hall director. So I know that was only for a semester. That's all I could stay in because I had to wear that blue and gold.
That was good. I'm glad they had you. They got to get the Eagles over there to put everybody in check. You know,
right?
So I understand. Excellent. Good work. Excellent
Thank
work.
You.
How did NCCU find you? How did you get to NCCU?
I actually was looked at by Jolie Robinson for basketball.
Yes.
Situation and circumstances happened, and I didn't play basketball, but still was involved. So I worked with the softball team under Coach King, Larry King, when he was there. And North Carolina Central was my first choice, and I was excited that I got accepted and enjoyed my years there. I learned a lot, met some amazing people. A lot of those are still friends to this day. So who have, we've all grown up and have children. I'm godmother to some of them. And so it was an amazing experience.
Yes, I love that part. NCCU plays such a familiar role in all of our lives, and I love what you said about that. Back to some of your work with young people who could be doing things in the streets, but you have them in a safe space. Can you talk about that work and how important it is for young people to have that type of space in their lives?
So what I'm currently working on, I work under a nonprofit out of Durham, North Carolina called Dreams to Reality. And I have a teen Gen girls mentoring program under them. So we meet weekly on Saturdays. It's a 10-week program. And it just gives, for teen girls ages 13 to 17, it just gives them a safe place to be able to talk about issues affecting them. So we talk about self-esteem, we talk about skincare, we talk about healthy eating. It's 2021 and I'm a realist. So we also talk about sexual health. It's not encouraging, but just so they know and are aware and are not naive to what is out here in the world. So that's for the nonprofit. Like I said, at the recreation center, it is because it's under local government. There's a lot of things that, are touchy spaces. So it just gives them a building in which they can come in and they have a safe refuge. I've had young ladies come in who don't know how to do hair and parents won't take them to the hairdresser. So I've washed hair and done hair. And I've had some local barbers come in and give some of the guys haircuts. So it makes them feel good. Because to me, I feel like behaviors are better when you feel good about yourself.
Therese, love it. Doing some excellent work over there in Winston-Salem area. Thank you for being here. We honor you from the class of 06. We're not getting old. We just getting seasoned. You know what I'm saying? Our season.
It's like wine. We get better with time.
Come on, come on. Stick around. We've got a couple more people, and we're going to bring you back. We'll talk about homecoming this year. We'll talk about more stuff in a moment. But thank you so much for being here. We honor you today.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Excellent. Come on, '06. Come on, class of '06. Now we're going to go to double eagle from NCCU, a legal eagle. Let's bring in Brother Ronald Draper. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm excellent. Excellent. Come on, you're a legal eagle.
Yes. From many years ago.
Are you still legaling?
Yes. I call myself that at least.
All right. You're one of our, the father of one of our dear support staff here with EAN, Brandon Draper. So grateful for you bringing him around with my classmate. Thank you for him.
Oh, yeah. I think he was destined to go.
That sounds like he didn't have a choice, Brother Draper.
Oh, he had a choice. He loved homecoming a great deal. You have no idea. You couldn't keep him from coming to MCC. I think I took him to 4, maybe 5 different homecomings over the years when he was in high school, and he loved every one.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you for bringing another legacy, being legacy at NCCU. Let's talk about you. How did NCCU find you? And legal eagle meaning, folks, he has a bachelor's degree from NCCU in 1971, and then he graduated from the NC School of Law in 74. How did NCCU find you? How did NCCU find you?
I was an athlete. I came out of Illinois being the state champion in the 120-yard high hurdles. I set a state record there. I also was the lower hurdle champion and set a state record for that as well. And also on the what was then called the mile relay, which is the 4x400 relay, we set a state record for that as well. And so I was recruited by Dr. Walker. He found me because of another Eagle by the name of Lee Calhoun, who was the 56 and 60 Olympic champion. Lee Calhoun at the time was the track coach at Gary Roosevelt High School, about 30 miles from Chicago.
Now, for some people, when you say Dr. Walker, I always want to give context. That is Leroy Walker, the Leroy Walker complex on campus, people. Okay.
Yes.
So that's like you're a legend. So we have to say you study with somebody whose name is on the building. You know, this is incredible to have you and to know that you were an elite athlete under Leroy Walker. What was that like? What was that like to know Coach Walker?
Well, Coach was a great philosopher. He had some of the best athletes in the world, and he had athletes from different parts of the world. There were Kenyan athletes who came in a couple of years after me, Robert Ouku and Julia Sang, both from Kenya. They ran for their countries in the 72 Olympic Games. I was striving to become Olympian myself, and unfortunately, because of a malfunctioning starting block, I did not make the 72 Olympic team. The times were great. We ran all over the United States against every Division I team you can think of, and we were more than competitive. We won on countless occasions, and our years were full of a lot of joy and a lot of success. A lot of individuals wanted to come to NCC because of Dr. Walker.
Indeed, indeed. My last question for you individually is, how was it practicing as an attorney in 1974, 5, 6? What was that like? What was a memory that you have of your time at that time?
Well, the era was for young Black lawyers just emerging. Civil rights era presented a opportunity to be not only a lawyer but really to achieve in any field. But for the young lawyers like myself, I was greatly excited about the prospect of practicing law. I toyed for a minute about trying to practice in North Carolina, but the era of segregation in the state was still very, very negative, I will say. And I decided to come back home to Chicago to practice.
Incredible achievement in every field of human endeavor. Good brother. Excellent. Thank you for being here, Ronald Draper. Thank you for being here. You're one of our legacy Eagles, our legendary Eagles. Please stick around. We want to bring you back in after we talk to our final guest. But thank you for being here tonight.
Okay.
All right. Now that is, hold on one second. Sorry about that. That is what we call legacy. That's what we call legend. And I'm grateful for that wisdom. And I want to have more of that on the show. So we appreciate you, Brother Jerry, for being here. Our final guest tonight, one of my classmates from class of 04, Katisha Jones.
Hi, Keon.
Come on, gives more. 04 gives more.
I mean, for real.
For real. I mean, look, you've been doing some excellent things. I just remember you and your sister, Annie Day, Shepherd Hall.
You better speak on it, Keon.
Trish and everybody, man. This was just such an amazing time. Before we get into what you're doing and your new accolade, how did NCCU find you?
You know what, Keon? I just think it was very interesting when you asked the question because NCCU truly, literally found me. My sister and I, as you mentioned, I have a twin sister. Our mother passed when we were 9 years old. And so both of us wanting to go to college, knowing that we wanted to be teachers, but it was just our single father with us in the house at that point in time. We knew that it was up to us to make sure we got into school and got a full ride scholarship. And honestly, I didn't have the story like everyone else. I was from Bladensboro, North Carolina. I hadn't been in this area. I wasn't as familiar with North Carolina Central University, but a letter came in the mail about the Ron Edmonds Teaching Scholarship addressed to my sister and myself. We hadn't applied to Central. We just had put some of our information out for scholarships, and a lot of them being the teaching scholarships. Ron Edmonds Teaching Scholarship had never existed prior to that particular year when we were the first cohort that came in. So once it came, at the same time we applied for the scholarship, we applied to come to North Carolina Central University. And I'll just say that I see God at work in all of that because we were meant to be at North Carolina Central. We were meant to be part of the first cohort of Ron Edmonds Teaching Scholars. And that's how North Carolina Central found me. Can't get rid of me.
Show came, and we're glad about it. Now, talk about some of your work. You're at Northside Elementary School there in Chapel Hill, correct?
I am. Yes, I am currently the assistant principal there. After graduating in 2004, I began teaching immediately. As a matter of fact, I graduated in May, and in June, I was already in my first position. I taught first at Quality Education Institute of Durham. I was there for 10 years as a teacher. That's a private school, and I loved it there, the community there. I really feel like I began to know when I was there that administration was the direction I needed to go, but I love being in the classroom. I love working with students, but I did want to transition into public school so that I could be able to have an opportunity to work in a public school setting. So I did. I transitioned out of private school into public school. I first worked at R. Harris Elementary. I was there for 2 years. My sister has been there all of her years of teaching. So for a good 2 years, we worked at the same school. And then I transitioned to Chapel Hill Carver City Schools, where I first taught for 2 years at Northside Elementary. I went and got my master's in school administration. And during my internship, they hired me as the assistant principal. And I am still currently serving in that position.
And now you're the assistant principal of the year in the county, Chapel Hill.
I am. I just found that out last week, Keon, and it was very exciting. And I truly appreciate the fact. I mean, it's one thing to be able to do something that you love, but then also get recognition for it. But I just want to also note that I feel like it's so important that I always showed up as my authentic self. People, if you know me, you know I'm smiling, I'm taking pictures, and I'm going to be me. And that hasn't changed. Nothing about me has changed. I feel like I really found who I was at North Carolina Central University, and my authenticity, I feel, is something that helped me in my field. And then to be recognized with the work that I do, being exactly who I am every single day, showing up exactly who I am, and getting that type of recognition really meant a lot to me. And I know that God is still directing me and leading me to many great things in my life. So I just appreciate the opportunity to serve Chapel Hill Carver City Schools as their assistant principal of the year.
Assistant Principal of the Year, Katisha Jones from class of 04. Thank you for being here tonight, Katisha.
Thank you, Keon.
Excited. Let's bring in our guest, our other guest. We have Therese Lovett, and we also have Brother Ronald Draper. All right, is everybody here? It's a great day to be an NCCU Eagle.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay, we're all here. So we're in our last part of our show. Coming up soon, we're going to be introducing a new series called Chautauqua. And we all know that our university was founded as the religious training school and Chautauqua. Chautauqua is like a conference. It's like a panel. It's like a meeting of the minds. And so we're going to use the last 15 minutes of our show coming up soon to talk about an issue. So all of our guests who are experts in their field will be tapping into that issue. So I'm excited to do that. But first, I want to go around real quick to talk about coming out of the pandemic in your industry. What have you gotten clear about coming out of the pandemic in your industry? What are you clear about? Let's start with Therese. What are you clear about?
That programs don't have to be cookie cutter. It allowed us to just really think outside of the box and take our programs from inside of a building to a park or parking lots or even virtual. A lot of things, I know I'm zoomed out, but a lot of things can be done virtually. So it allowed us to realize that hybrid programming is really a thing, and it can be done successfully.
Come on, Zoom fatigue. I'm fatigued out too. I'm tired. I need to see somebody face to face with a mask on. I'm fully vaccinated. Anyway, all right. Katisha, what are you clear about coming out of the pandemic in your industry?
I am clear on the fact that as a leader in a school, it is so extremely important that we recognize how we show up for students. And it's not about putting work in front of their face. It's actually seeing them for who they are and really letting them know that it's not just about them being present, but recognizing their presence. But not just that, doing that for your staff as well. One thing that I truly realize is that social emotional learning is a big thing, and recognizing where people are mentally. And our students, our staff, teachers have been fatigued emotionally and spiritually. And just to be that person to check in on them and recognize what the main thing really is and prioritizing those things is something I really have come to realize through the pandemic.
Come on, not being present, but recognizing presence. Come on now. That's your assistant principal of the year right there. You can't. Come on. All right. But somebody that can come after that is Ronald Draper. Brother Draper, what coming out of the pandemic in your field, what are you clear about?
That the system will exist regardless of circumstance. The pandemic had all but shut down trials, particularly the jury trial in Cook County, where I practice. Courts, the Loop, which is the main business center, virtually empty because the courts depend on people for its existence. It was enormously difficult to get work done. Even with Zoom, it had its challenges. It did show there is another medium for which the courts can exist and get things done, but the transition has been difficult in respects with judges, with clerks, bailiffs, getting people to respond as they have an obligation to come to court and be there on time, and to recognize that a Zoom hearing is the same as if you're personally present in a courtroom. Excuse me. So there have been many challenges, but basically it's surviving.
Brother Draper, I have a personal question. Have you ever gone to trial in your slippers? That's all I'm saying.
No.
You was
underwear and having shirt, being fully dressed. You know, the Zoom hearing, as I said, is the same as if being personally present. So the only thing is not having to physically be in a courtroom.
I would have had my slippers on, Brother Draper. But that's why you're who you are. That's why I don't do that. Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you for that. Just a couple of housekeeping wanted to say. We are doing summer reading starting next week. I think we have a special guest, and we'll be talking about their book. So if you have anybody that has a book, we would love to hear from you. We want to recognize our Eagles who are authors. So tag them in this post or tell them to reach out to us. We're targeting, last week we had somebody from Washington State. So we're targeting folks who are in Washington, looking for alumni, calling all alumni in Washington. Also calling all alumni in Illinois, wherever you are. DM us your city, want to see where you are. And also don't mess with Texas. But if you're in Texas and you're an NCCU alum or you know someone who is, please let them know that we're looking for them. Not urgent. We ain't mad at you. We just want to know where you at. And we got some stuff happening in those states, and we want to make sure people are a part of it.
If I may, there is an alum by the name of McNeil, Frank McNeil. He graduated from both undergrad and law school with me. Frank McNeil became the first Black person to become a member of the city council in the state capital of Springfield. He was instrumental in filing a civil rights claim to get a district to help elect him in Springfield back in the late 70s.
Wow.
So he made history in that regard.
History. What was his name again?
McNeil. Frank McNeil. Frank
McNeil.
came from not Winston-Salem, but High Point.
Right, McNeil. History. More history. Thank you for that. All right, it's time for the Eagles Give Challenge. That's my echo. I need to get a budget. We had a budget. If Kenza gave me a budget, I could get an echo, but we don't have one yet. So that's my echo. All right, so this is where we ask our guests to give to the university, make a recurring gift to the university. We created eaglesgive.com to take you right to the university website to make a recurring gift. Now I'm going to ask all of our guests if they will, for the first time, or continue to make recurring gifts to the university. We'll start with our assistant principal of the year, Katissa Jones. Will you make a recurring gift to the university?
Of course.
Thank you for that enthusiasm. I mean, I hope you get a nice little stipend check because you done got that new credential for the year. Give to the school of education so we can, pick up, call Dr. Osler.
Yeah, I'm right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been this way ever since undergrad. I just want to put that out there.
All right. Sharice, will you give to the university a recurring gift?
Most definitely.
All right. Brother Draper, will you give to the university and make a recurring gift to the school?
Yes.
Excellent. Our legal Eagles are revolutionizing online stuff in the legal field as well over there. And, you think that, and previously you could not do certain things in law school virtually, but NCCU is doing some amazing things in NCCU School of Law. So I know that you are proud, and thank you for your support. Powerful.
Yes, law school has come a long way, believe me.
Indeed. All right. Well, that was the Eagles Give Challenge. Go to eaglesgive.com and make your recurring gift at least $19.10. Come on, you can do that, guys. All right. Let's go. Now we're in our final 5 minutes. So we want to go around and do our final thoughts where we ask all of our guests to just give something that you would like to leave our guests with today. We're going to start with Sharice, class of 06. What are your final thoughts?
My final thought with just to continue just to have an open mind, especially with the teenagers and our young people. This day and age is just really hard, and social media is a big influence on them. So it's just practicing patience and just keeping an open mind with them.
I love that. I love that, being patient and having an open mind. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Brother Draper, what are your final thoughts tonight?
My thoughts are the history of the school and its place for the future. The university has developed itself coming out of segregation and being so brutalized by segregation, and to be in the position it is now, I think is a great triumph. And I hope the success of the present student body and the future student body will continue in the legacy of success and make NCC a world-known university. And that's my hope and prayer.
Mine too. Thank you for that. A world-class, first choice, global institution, Duro NCC. All right, we'll reserve our final comments for the Assistant Principal of the Year over there in Chapel Hill, Carborough County, Kertisha Jones. What are your final thoughts tonight?
My final thoughts to everyone. For one, to you, Keon, appreciate the work that you're doing. I believe that for me, coming to North Carolina Central University was able to let me find my authentic self. And I want us to make sure that we, no matter where we are, what spaces we are in, where students are present, whether it's a school, whether it's at home, whether it's at church, whether it's in the grocery store, be able to recognize their Black joy and celebrate it. It's in our interactions with children that helps them cultivate and recognize who they are and recognize that they are okay to be their authentic self, no matter what spaces they may be in or how they show up. And so that's my final word, that North Carolina Central gave me that. I didn't have that for myself. And I do see what the importance is of Black joy in everything that we do and what you're doing even now, Keon. So we have to make sure that we are returning that and giving it back to all the students and children that we have in our lives and all around us. And thank you again, Keon, for this.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, man. Thank you all
Thank
for
you.
being here. Kertisha Jones from 04, Therese Lovett from 06, and Ronald Draper, double equal 71 and 74 School of Law. I'm just so grateful to have you guys here. Remember to, I don't have the slide really quickly, but go to nccualumni.org to join the NCCU Alumni Association if you haven't. It's a really awesome opportunity to be engaged in what we're doing with the university. Also, of course, go to eaglesgive.com to make a recurring gift to the university. And I just want to thank the team. We've got Brandon Draper, we've got Kenzie McFadden, we've got Basim Mateen, who really support with this Eagles Alumni Network thing and this Eagle, our NCCU Live thing. We're on episode 20 of our second season of this program.
That's awesome.
Honoring alumni from North Carolina Central University who are experts in their field all over the planet. We've had Trinidad, we have Africa, we've had all over the United States. I'm talking about an eagle is no common, ordinary
barnyard fowl.
Let's go.
So we got to maintain that, folks. We got to continue that mantra. And our new thing is, you belong at NCCU. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Take care.